Greetings, thrill seekers. Welcome back to another hair-raising episode of Scary Hunter. Tonight, we delve into the chilling unknown with the second volume of 3 True Creepy Neighbor Horror Stories. Grab a cozy blanket, dim the lights, and prepare yourself for a journey through the twisted tales that lie behind the seemingly ordinary facades of suburban life. In the quiet town of Ravenscroft, my wife and I found our dream home, a quaint cottage nestled at the end of a secluded street. Our neighbor, Mrs. Abernathy, was an elderly woman known for her eccentric habits. She always wore long, flowing dresses and spoke in hushed tones, as if sharing secrets with the shadows. One day, while tending to our garden, I noticed Mrs. Abernathy carrying an old, dusty book into her house. Her eyes met mine, and a shiver ran down my spine. From that moment, our peaceful existence unraveled. Late at night, strange noises echoed through the walls, whispers, chanting, and unholy incantations. Sleep became a distant memory as malevolent shadows danced across our bedroom walls. Convinced that something sinister lurked next door, I decided to investigate. As I approached Mrs. Abernathy's house, an otherworldly chill gripped me. The door creaked open with a haunting groan, revealing a room bathed in an eerie, flickering light. Mrs. Abernathy, adorned in a tattered robe, stood before an ancient altar, adorned with symbols that sent shivers down my spine. In a voice that seemed to echo from the depths of the abyss, she revealed a horrifying truth. Our cottage was built upon sacred ground, and her rituals were an attempt to appease the vengeful spirits beneath. As she spoke, the walls seemed to close in, and the air grew thick with malevolence. Moving to a bustling city, I thought I had left the nightmares behind. Our new apartment seemed perfect, except for one peculiar neighbor, Mr. Hendricks, who lived directly across the hall. He never spoke and never left his apartment, but his presence felt like a lingering shadow. Curiosity got the better of me, and I decided to investigate the mystery that was Mr. Hendricks. Peering through the peephole, I glimpsed him standing in the darkness, staring at my door with unblinking eyes. Unease settled in, as I realized he never blinked, never wavered from his vigil. As weeks passed, the unnerving feeling escalated. I began to notice subtle changes in my apartment, objects out of place, whispers in the night, and the unshakable sensation of being watched. Convinced that Mr. Hendricks was more than a mere neighbor, I delved into the building's history. To my horror, I discovered that Mr. Hendricks had died years ago, a victim of a tragic accident in our very building. His obsession with the living had tethered his spirit to our realm. Desperate to break free, he sought a vessel to escape his spectral prison. Late one night, as I lay in bed, a chilling voice whispered in my ear, the voice of Mr. Hendricks. He craved life, and I was his chosen conduit. The room plunged into darkness as his ethereal presence enveloped me, and I felt the boundary between life and death blur into a nightmarish union. In the picturesque town of Harmony Hills, music was the soul of our community. Mrs. Blackwood, our neighbor, was a renowned pianist whose melodies echoed through the air. However, her haunting tunes held a dark secret. One evening, as I listened to the somber notes wafting through the walls, I realized the music was more than a mere performance. It was a conduit to a realm beyond our comprehension. Intrigued and unnerved, I decided to attend one of Mrs. Blackwood's recitals. The grand hall was filled with an ethereal glow as Mrs. Blackwood played, her fingers dancing across the keys with an unnatural precision. As the last note resonated, a vortex of shadows enveloped the room, and spectral figures emerged from the darkness. Mrs. Blackwood, eyes glazed over, continued to play as the spirits danced to her silent symphony. They whispered tales of lost souls and forbidden knowledge, revealing the sinister pact that bound the town to a dark entity. Realizing the danger, I confronted Mrs. Blackwood. With a haunting smile, she admitted that the melodies were an offering to an ancient force that granted her musical prowess in exchange for the souls of the townsfolk. The harmony that once defined Harmony Hills was now a symphony of suffering. And there you have it, brave souls. 3 true, creepy neighbor horror stories that will leave you questioning the shadows that lurk just beyond your doorstep. If these spine-chilling tales sent shivers down your spine, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Scary Hunter for more terrifying content, and hit that notification bell to stay updated on our latest uploads. Have you ever had a creepy neighbor experience? Share your stories in the comments below. And who knows, maybe your tale will be featured in our next video. Until next time, stay vigilant, and may your nights be free from the unseen terrors that haunt the world around you. Good night, and sleep tight, if you can.